Hypoglycemia is one of those really interesting and poorly understood issues that patients often seem to know much more about than their doctor. Now, if you have experienced hypoglycemia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You often know it when you have it, but the medical system rarely seems to be able to explain to you why you have it. In this video, I'll explain the number one cause that I've seen for hypoglycemia. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Wangen, the founder and medical director of the IBS Treatment Center. I've experienced hypoglycemia for most of my youth, and in my 25-year career, I've had a lot of patients tell me that they have hypoglycemia. And in my experience, it has everything to do with your digestion. Hypoglycemia means that you experience low blood sugar, what certainly feels like low blood sugar, and you have to eat on a very regular basis, maybe every 2 hours or so, in order to keep your energy up and maintain basically a normal persona. And hypoglycemia doesn't always show up on blood tests as anything, as low blood sugar or anything else, but patients usually know it when they feel it. So why does hypoglycemia happen? What I've seen and experienced myself is that hypoglycemia is very often, and maybe most of the time, related to how well you're digesting and absorbing your food. Now, not everyone who has hypoglycemia has digestive symptoms, but I believe that almost all of them have an underlying digestive problem that is causing them not to absorb or to assimilate the nutrients out of the food that they are ingesting. So even if they're eating really healthy food, they're not getting the benefits from it that somebody else would. Now, when this happens, it results in being able to eat a lot of food, but not actually getting a lot out of that food. So when I was young, and all the way up until my 30s, people would always tell me that I could eat anything and everything, and that I must have a huge metabolism, right? A really high metabolism, because I didn't gain weight. And what they didn't know was that I absolutely had to eat like that, because I would get super irritable, be completely unbalanced, and if I didn't eat every couple of hours, right, and be exhausted all the time. And I had to be very, very conscious of making sure that I had food with me at all times so that I could eat whenever I got hangry, as they call it, right? Now, not everyone who's hypoglycemic is underweight, because that doesn't always go with it. You don't assume that. I was, but that doesn't necessarily always go with it from what I've seen in my patients. But what I'm saying is that poor nutrition that's due to malabsorption almost always goes with it. And assuming that you're not diabetic, because that's a completely separate issue, then I think that's the most common cause of hypoglycemia. Now, in my case, I also had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, meaning that I had frequent diarrhea. In not all IBS cases, they actually involve diarrhea, but mine certainly did. And I had really poor digestion. Now, I didn't realize how bad that was until it was gone. But once I solved my IBS and I no longer had those symptoms, my digestive system itself was able to heal. And that healing takes time, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes weeks and months, and actually over the first year or two. But as my digestive tract healed, I discovered that I could go longer and longer between meals, and that eventually I no longer had hypoglycemia. So I wasn't having to eat all the time to maintain my energy and maintain my mental awareness, right? My clarity of thought and all that. I wasn't falling apart. I was normal, which I didn't know what normal was before that, but then I could go hours and hours without eating, and then I might get hungry, but I didn't fall apart, right? It was a completely different situation now. If I go a long time, I just get hungry, but I'm not completely falling apart. Now, I've seen this same thing happen in my patients as well, which has led me to believe that hypoglycemia is really about your digestion and how well you're absorbing the nutrients in the foods that you eat. Now, this is especially true for people with obvious digestive problems like diarrhea, which is a super obvious form of malabsorption of your food, at least obvious to me. So if you have diarrhea or have loose stools, You're not breaking down your foods properly. You're not absorbing the nutrients out of those foods that you normally would. However, I've also seen this with other digestive symptoms like constipation as well. Now, once these symptoms are healed, right? Once people get better, then they usually see their hypoglycemia improve as well. And I should also tell you that you don't necessarily have to have any digestive problems at all, because I've seen cases like that, and there are examples like that. Let me share some with you. Now, did you know that many people, I mean a lot of people with celiac disease don't have any digestive symptoms? And there have been big studies on this, so we know it's true. It's not just something that I'm just extrapolating out of one person. There are tons of people like this. So they don't necessarily have digestive symptoms, but what celiac does is it always involves the digestive tract at the microscopic level. And we know that because that's literally the definition of celiac disease, is a specific kind of damage that's happening in the intestine at the microscopic level. So what that means is that there's going to be poor digestion and absorption of nutrients, even if you're not experiencing digestive symptoms. So many people with celiac disease, therefore, are also hypoglycemic. Now, they also get better when they discover that they're celiac and they learn to avoid gluten and their gut heals. So that's the good news, is they get better too, right? And their hypoglycemia gets better. Unfortunately, there are hundreds of other causes of digestive problems and of damage even at a microscopic level in the gut. So it's not as simple as having everyone just remove gluten. I wish it was. I could tell you, oh, solve your hypoglycemia by removing gluten. Might help, but chances are it probably won't, but it's worth a shot if you want to do it. Now, I want you to know, though, that there is a reason that you have hypoglycemia and that there is hope for getting better. So don't give up, because there's something going on down there that needs to be figured out that will help you digest and absorb your nutrients better, so that you can then actually really truly treat the cause of your hypoglycemia. This video has been sponsored by the IBS Treatment Center, helping people throughout the US and the world via telemedicine overcome their digestive problems and their hypoglycemia. If you found the information in this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more insight into your health. Thank you for watching, and please take care of your body. It's the only place that you have to live. Thank you for watching. We create informative videos like this weekly. So if you enjoyed it, please help our channel by sharing a screenshot or the link to the video on Facebook or Instagram or your favorite social media. And be sure to tag me wherever you post and let me know what you liked about the video and what topics you'd like me to discuss in the future. If you visit our website at ibstreatmentcenter.com, we're currently offering a free ebook on how to beat IBS, so be sure to check that out. It's time to take control of your digestive problems and get your life back. I'd also appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel here, like this video, and leave a comment or question below. I'll do my best to read and respond to all of them. Thank you, and until next time.